Hi, it's Bobby, and we are live here at Lions, Tigers, and Bears in Alpine, California. And for those of you who don't know, I am the founder and director of Lions, Tigers, and Bears here in Alpine. And we are a rescue and an education facility. So we rescue animals, provide a lifetime home. We work all over the country. We've done some international work to help animals. We are their voice. We not only provide a lifetime home, but work with first responders, state officials to get animals out of places that they shouldn't be, and to another proper sanctuary if they can't come here. So today we are going to be sharing with you Teddy and Baloo, our Himalayan black bears, and also going to talk a little bit about the virus in the tiger, because as many of you might have seen on the news in New York, they did have a tiger at the zoo that does have the virus. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But today, first, let's start with the animals. Let's start with Teddy and Baloo. And Julie is up letting them out of their safety bedrooms. And they're going to come down here. They're going to have a picnic at the picnic table. We are going to be staying a little bit further apart today because we are practicing our social distancing, even with our exotic animals now, especially now that we know that the tiger at the zoo got the virus. So here we're just practicing a little bit more of our social distancing. So Teddy and Baloo, they came from North Carolina, and they were actually living in a couple's backyard. And of course, we all know private ownership with these animals, it doesn't work. So they first originated in what we call pits. So pits are literally cinder block cells. So it would be like a giant room made out of cinder block where the bears cannot see out, they can see up. So the tourists are up on the top where they can make them beg for food and take pictures, but the bears are continuously on concrete, and then they're surrounded by concrete. So then once the pits were done with them, they were bounced around from roadside zoo to roadside zoo, and then ended up in a backyard with a couple. So of course, private ownership, it never works out, and the couple got divorced, and the man could no longer take care of the bears. But the woman actually still comes out here to this day, you know, on her vacations, because, you know, all good things can go bad. So she'll come out here every year on her vacations. She still loves Teddy and Baloo very much and comes out on vacations and helps us to take care of the bears. So Himalayan black bears, they're a subspecies of Asian black bears, and they're found up in the Himalayan mountains of India, Tibet, China, and Nepal. And these bears can be found all throughout the Himalayan, from the Bhutan in the east to Pakistan in the west. They're mostly in the high mountains, in the timbers, like up in the trees, or down in the jungles, because in the summer they'll go up to like Nepal, China, even up to Russia, and they're found 10 to 12,000 feet up. And then during the winter they'll go down as low as 5,000 feet down to the jungles. So you can see them sitting here enjoying their picnic table. So one way you can always tell Himalayan black bears by their black coat and their light brown muzzle. And then of course they have that signature crescent shape, and hopefully they're going to show it to you in a minute, patch on the front of their chest. And that's why a lot of people will call them the moon bears. So hopefully one of them will turn around today while we're filming, and we'll be able to show you that white. And if you've been out here before, I'm sure you've seen it when they're getting their peanut butter and jelly. These black bears, they're between 56 and 65 inches tall from the nose to the tail, and they can weigh anywhere from 200 to 265 pounds. And our bears, as you can see, are a little bit hefty. And then out in the wild, when these bears are getting ready to hibernate, they will, you know, go up to like closer to 400 pounds. So our bears, they don't always hibernate here. They're always given the opportunity to hibernate. They have places where they can go hibernate. They go in their bedrooms every day and they can go to sleep, but we don't get snow that covers the ground, so there's always bugs, there's always grass, there's always leaves, and these guys are known for eating roots. So they don't really hibernate because they always have an abundance of food. So So that is one of the reasons, like, you'll see some of our bears awake all year long. We do have 2 bears that do try really hard, Sugar Bear and Blossom, to hibernate, but it just never seems like they make it into a full hibernation here in Southern California. So just like other species of bears, these Himalayan black bears, they are an omnivorous animal, so they're omnivores. Their diet is, in the wild, is acorn, nuts, fruit, honey, roots, various insects, termites, beetles, and if they get super hungry, they will turn to livestock like sheep and goats and cattle, so they do eat meat. So here we feed them raw fish, cooked meats, raw fruits, raw vegetables, raw nuts, roots, anything they can root around for on the ground is their diet here. When they get to be 3 years old, they're old enough to reproduce, and they'll normally give birth to 2 cubs while they're still in hibernation. And the cubs will usually stay with their mothers for 2 years. So think about that in the exotic animal trade, because these captive bears at the roadside zoos, they'll pull the babies when their eyes first open and take them away from the mama, and sometimes sooner. So in the wild, they would stay with their baby for 2 years. They are a vulnerable animal. They're not an endangered species, but their biggest risks are the forest fires and the timber industries logging all the trees. It reduces their habitat. It is illegal to hunt these bears. It's been illegal since 1977, but believe it or not, they're still poached. So hopefully we can get the poaching stopped. These bears are known as being one of the most violent bears. They can be a very violent animal, sometimes attacking without warning. That's why we always say bears don't make good pets. They'll spend a lot of their day in caves or hollowed out trees. They live in family groups consisting of 2 adults and 2 successive litters of young usually. They're really good climbers. They can climb cliffs and trees. They climb to feed, to rest. They like the sun. They escape enemies, and then they'll hibernate, of course. They live about 25 to 30 years. These bears can live to be about 25 to 30 years. So not sure if you can see the white on Baloo's chest now as he walks. You see his little white. Now you can see the white on his chest, and from behind they have the little Mickey Mouse ears. Super active bears. They love to play. They'll eat anything. They love to eat. So just wanted to real quick touch a little bit on the SARS, CoV-2, as we call it in animals, which is the COVID-19 in human. The tiger in New York did test positive, so that makes us know that maybe possibly tigers are more susceptible to the virus. And we don't yet know how contagious it is from animal to animal. We do know that this was reverse zoonotic, meaning that it went from human to animal. So it didn't go from animal to human in this case. So for us, that just makes us up our disinfecting, our PPE. We're wearing face masks if we're closer than 6 feet to the animals. Just trying to double clean everything more than we are. Our keepers are trying not to leave the ranch so that they're not going out where they could get exposed and bring back the exposure to our animals. We don't know how long this is going to last, but right at this moment, as of yesterday, we are pretty much locked down here. So we're just doing the best that we can with that. And there's a lot of different organizations that are working on this. So when they did test the tiger, they did what they call PCR testing. It's a duplicate. They took duplicate respiratory tract samples because it is a respiratory disease. And she was a 4-year-old tiger. And so the results have gone many places and is being studied by many organizations. So some of them are the Animal Health Diagnostic Center, the New York State Veterinary Diagnostic Laboratory, Cornell University of Vet Medicine, the University of Illinois College of Vet Medicine. Of course, the USDA is involved and the CDC, and they're working with the state officials because this is the first of its kind that we found in this tiger. So, of course, we all know further studies are needed. And we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with other animals. They do know ferrets are very susceptible. And of course, you know, watching the primates and we'll be watching all mammals. So, let's see. Dark here too. We don't know why it's dark. We were having a little bit of a problem with our internet out here this morning. The weather has just been crazy. And our website is actually down right now, so if you are trying to get on our website is down, and the company that works on that is working on getting it back up. They've actually got 200 sites down, not just only ours. I don't know why it's dark, but on the camera it is showing dark. Refresh your screen. So where's everybody watching from? Where's everyone from? It's been raining all night, never stopped raining one time. Raining this morning a little bit, and now no rain, so we're kind of lucking out. Looks like Teddy found himself an orange here. So Jackie's watching from Las Vegas. Gail is watching from Chula Vista. Maggie from Long Beach. Troy, he's from here in Alpine area. Debbie from Chandler, Arizona. Michelle from South Park. Jesse from Casa de Oro. El Cajon, Ms. is from El Cajon. Stacy from La Jolla. Monica from North Carolina. Hi, Monica. Volunteers are watching. We've had to cut back on the number of volunteers we can have come out due to the virus because we have to, you know, just be so careful for the animals now. So does anybody have any questions about these bears? Westlake Village. Erin from Westlake. Nancy from Oceanside. Samantha we have people from all over. Wisconsin. Jamie from Wisconsin. And Cherry Bomb, she's kind of come over to see what's going on over here. She's trying to got a little scratch or itch or something. So someone's asking about the habitat. This habitat goes all the way down the hill. We can't see actually the end of this habitat from here. So these bears have a really nice hill that they can go up and down with logs and rocks, and they like to climb on top of some of the really big rocks, and sometimes you'll find them sitting on the rock up there together, or here they're going to play with the teeter-totter. They're usually always together. They don't go far from one another. They are brothers. Push the teeter-totter down to get his apple. And they're typical brothers. One minute they'll be laying together, sleeping, and the next minute they'll be fighting. So, typical brothers. This is Cherry Bomb that you're seeing. She's laying over there playing with her log. The wet weather really doesn't bother them. Someone's asking about the wet weather. It's actually stopped raining right now, which is nice. Little yoga today. So even though our website is down, I do want to tell the new people who are here watching today, we have launched a campaign that helps us to help take care of these animals during these hard times. And we're calling it Help Us Hang in There $20 challenge. So it is a $20 challenge where we ask you to donate $20 or more, whatever you can afford, to help us make it through these hard times and to support these animals. And it's also a peer-to-peer fundraising. So when the website is up, you can click on it and it will actually help you build your own page to do fundraising. So you could send it out and ask your friends to give $20 or more. That helps us to help the animals. And then it's something good that you could do with your kids or as a group while you're at home and need something to do. You can help us to hang in there. Mike Slapka is watching. I've known him since high school. Hi, Mike. Carrie is watching. Hi, Carrie. So as you can see, bears are a foraging animal, and they'll forage around for quite a while and try to find their food. And they'll go down the hill and they'll dig and move rocks and move logs, and they do like to climb. These bears don't climb very much. They were unfortunately declawed before they came here in the front. So they have an easy time climbing up the tree, but then they'll have a harder time getting back down. You can kind of see the size differences in Teddy and Baloo. Teddy's a little bit bigger. Teddy's the one on the left who's standing up smashing the orange, and Baloo's the one who's already eating the orange. Teddy has a little bit more foofier hair around the face and a little bit bigger of a muzzle. It's a softer look than Baloo, I think. And for those of you who remember, Baloo was the one who we did have out here that got bit by the rattlesnake. And he's made it through that with no problems and done really well. It's a 50-50 chance when they do get bitten by a snake. So another way you can do our Help Us Hang in There campaign while we don't have our internet up is you could text 71777, and to 71777 just text LTB, and then you could donate to the Hang in There campaign. So these two habitats here, Cherry Bomb and Teddy and Baloo, came together at the same time when we went to North Carolina. We actually picked up 4 of them, Albert, Cherry Bomb, Teddy, and Baloo. Albert died last year, but these 2 habitats we built especially for these bears. Bob Barker, the Come On Down, Bob Barker actually helped us to build these 2 habitats. So they are very, very nice habitats. At the time we had to make Cherry Bomb and Albert's a little bit smaller because they had such a hard time walking. We were afraid Albert would go over the hill and not be able to come back down to his water. But they've done really well in here, and they pretty much have everything they need. As you can see, green grass, dirt, rocks, stumps, toys, each other. And it's nice that Teddy and Baloo are still right next to Cherry Bomb, because when they were living in the backyard, they were right next to Cherry Bomb. She's over there trying to rock the stump. You can see how Teddy's using his paws to hold his food so he can crunch off bites at a time. Any more questions? Oh, there goes Cherry, chasing Baloo. So today we've fed them. Somebody's asking what they're eating. So today we've given them some vegetables and fruit. So they've had some lettuce, some cucumbers, some oranges, some Mexican fruits, some grapes, some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and just a variety of things so they can forage around and you could get a good opportunity to see the bears. Like I said, they are omnivores, so they eat raw fruits, raw vegetables, raw nuts, cooked meats, raw fish is pretty much what we feed out here. They do like roots of plants and insects as well. So if they can find those, or sometimes if we pull things, we can throw them roots. Leo, age 4, would like to know. Oh, I couldn't get that question. Sorry, Leo, can you send that question again? If they get lots of treats. These bears, they do get lots of treats. They'll pretty much eat anything. So their most special treat that they love are peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But as you can see, they're pretty hefty bears. So we're always keeping these two on a pretty strict diet. We're Cherry Bomb over there. We call her our skinny blonde because we're always trying to get her to eat more. So with the Himalayan bears, peanut butter and jelly is their favorite, or we give them fruits like grapes and things like that as a treat. But they're happy to eat anything. So Leo's also asking if they get treats for being good listeners. So of course, a lot of times if we call them and they come over, we're always going to reward them for that. Or if we're putting them into their safety bedrooms, when they come in and we shut the door so then we can safely go out in the habitat, we're going to give them treats. We don't really do training here. We just do training for their safety and for medical needs. Because this is their lifetime home, so we just want them to be able to live out their life as safe as possible in dignity. And they are really good bears. They do listen. So Cherry Bomb over here, she's a grizzly bear. Somebody's asking. She's a grizzly bear. So Teddy went over, or Baloo went over and went in his bedroom. Now he's coming back out. We do leave the bedrooms open. They can come and go as they please. And most afternoons you will find Teddy and Baloo curled up. For today, and I hope you'll join us again tomorrow at 10:30. We will post this at noon on Instagram because the weather is expected to get really bad today. So hopefully we get to see you tomorrow. Cats, we hope you're having a great day. Don't forget our Help Us Hang In There campaign, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.